So cool. We'll deal with the new ship stuff next week because then I could actually write something about it. So in the meantime, the ship is not here, and the original plan of the Imjin going through a refit is still happening. So I believe we got a captain's log, quite possibly.
Let me get my popcorn. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
So in terms of this session, your characters do not have any idea about a new ship.
Okay.
So as far as you're concerned, you're still assigned to the Imjin.
If people are switching out characters, that will be next week.
Yeah, I just got all my shit transferred over from Narendra Station.
Like my idea is if there was a crew rotation, it would still happen like today. Like they would think they were being rotated onto the Imjin, and then so like the crew rotation stuff still happens. So like Sorel's new character would still happen. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden we're suddenly like directed back to Utopia Planitia or Sol System, whatever, not knowing what's happening kind of thing.
So if the captain has his log, you could go ahead and set the stage for us.
Stardate 5322 7.6. Imjin has been undergoing a refit for these last 2 weeks. With this massive amount of downtime we're going to have, I've given the crew extended shore leave. But I have started to notice that some of my officers are starting to go stir crazy on this small station out in the middle of nowhere. In other events, I have started to contemplate my future in Starfleet with our recent runnings with these crystalline entities. I don't think I can be so cavalier anymore. This is not a war after all. End Captain's log.
What? You guys remember in Voyager when Neelix was doing his once a day little show and the doctor wanted to be on it?
Yeah.
For some reason, I had us like all sit in our special departments in a chair watching the captain on the screen, and we're like, we're all either cheering or throwing something at the screen.
All right, so to kind of set the scenes of what's going on the station. So essentially, what I want you guys to do is I definitely want you guys to be role playing for this entire episode. So here's what we're gonna do. So the scene has already been kind of set that you guys are on the station, and you have been for about 2 weeks. The refit on the Imjin is going on, and essentially everybody was kicked off the Imjin, so nothing can happen on there. No one can go on the ship. No one can retrieve anything left behind. The Imjin is off limits for this mission because of the refit. Like they're doing a lot of work on it.
That killed my role play.
So the captain has said that you guys can have some shore leave, and you guys have been on the station for probably 2.5 weeks, and you guys are getting bored. Like, what are you guys going to do? So the object of this mission is to let you guys run wild on the station. I shouldn't say run wild, but go through like role-playing events on the station. Now, you guys can either set them up yourselves with other characters. I do have other things that we can do if you guys can't think of anything.
I
But
have one little one to
yeah,
start.
so by all means, you guys can grab whoever you want, set up the scenes yourself, and then we'll just go from there, right? I think the main thing I want you guys to get used to, especially with you guys, because you're more so about the roles and the combat. I want you guys to get used to role playing with each other, and I think that this would be a perfect week to do that.
And for me, I think it's like I'm trying to walk on the ship. This is the moment. This is the last moment before we're all locked out, right? And it's that moment where the captain and maybe the commander are the last two off, and they're about to shut the door because and I'm walking in with a big piece of my equipment that's from my old bedroom, and I'm trying to get it all moved over to the ship. And I'm like, Captain, this is heavy.
Oh,
Commander, you have people in your department who can help.
Oh, there's a couple of people behind me with stuff. And I look behind myself looking for them. Like they had a couple of boxes. I mean, they were back there. But then I turn. I'm like, I might have been going fast. It's a really big carburetor.
What exactly were you planning to do on my ship with a carburetor, Commander?
Well, this is all my stuff from my previous room, and I'm just getting everything moved since we had to go really quick. So the ambassador of Narendra has basically told me, I can't have two rooms, on the engine, or one on the engine and one here. I have to pick one, and so I was just moving my stuff over. This is a piece from an old freighter, Tellarite freighter from days back, and it's still good. See, he blows in a hole.
The captain looks on with casual, not quite like disgust, but kind of just like disinterest, and that's the realm of engineers, just like
Absolutely
thoroughly disinterested in your little bauble.
And is this at this moment where you're telling me that, hey, the ship is now off limits while I'm carrying this thing?
It can be.
Right? And I look at you and I get that scowl and turn right back around. And at that moment, the couple people with the boxes come around and I just nope. Turn around. Everybody frowns and we head that way. And that's kind of where I'll be starting, is trying to figure out, get everything on the ship. And I head back to their Narendra apartment.
okay. Question for the GM out of character real quick.
Sure.
Would Michelson have access to his holodeck programs?
On the station, yes.
Okay, good.
You need a Tellarite carburetor? I have extra parts.
No, what's going to happen is Michelson's just been getting bored of doing, standard day-to-day stuff on the station, just, going out, having fun, chilling with other people of the crew. And so he decides, you know what, I'm going to go to the holodeck and finally dust off my program of the P-14 and try to get it finished.
I value that I understand mechanic and technology more than I do people. I join you because it's something to do.
Yeah, literally, I was going to say, tap my comm badge and go, Ensign Michelson to Lieutenant Commander Kerr.
Right? And then at that moment, you hear the little button on the side of the holodeck. I'm already there because we're all bored.
And I just turn towards the holodeck and go, enter.
Right. And I'll probably come in and scowl and be just like you, where I'm really bored. But then maybe you'll go into reading something off and I'm like, silence. I started correcting what you got written down, trying to find all the faults and the weaknesses so I could make corrections or whatever. And
basically, and then I just go straight into just laying it all out for you. Good grief. Let me see if I can find this photo real quick. Oh, it was in the general chat. No, Imjin chat.
Now, what's funny is I probably look at you like the captain did at me when he saw me holding my stuff. I'm looking at you like this is antiquated, but if you really want to build it, okay. I mean, it's your time.
Yeah, and
I ain't got nothing to do. I guess I could help you. At least with my help, it won't totally fail.
And I just DM'd you an image, and this is what you see basically. If you remember the holodeck deal where the crew of the Voyager is building the Delta Flyer.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The only thing different between the picture I just sent you and what you're seeing is there's no tail fins whatsoever.
Okay. So just sleep.
Okay, so
yeah.
That's what you're looking at. And on each of the wings, you see mounted phaser cannons. Just looking over it, in the nose of the fighter, you see a spot for what it seems like Michelson's going for is micro torpedoes. But he's working on, and the main reason why he was calling you, he turns to you and goes, Lieutenant Commander, I've got something wrong with these engines. I'm trying to figure out how. I want to put the advanced impulse engines into them. You know which ones I'm talking about, right?
He'll, list off like 3 or 4 different ideas or 3 or 4 different things that could relate to what you're talking about. And he'll say, kind of like waiting for you to tell him which one of those options is the one. And then at that moment, he'll just kind of like list all the pros and all the cons.
Mm-hmm.
And then just because he's always specific on Tellarite being like debating and making sure this and that, you really have to go against him with the debates on how this and this and this and that won't fail. But he's intrigued that you're at least wanting to debate with him and keep face to face with the whole debate process. Because if you walk away, he's won. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah. So as long as you keep debating him and keep on going with all the information, you'll keep his interest, kind of thing. And I kind of see the banter going back and forth like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Where you point something out and he's like, oh, no, this is not going to work. And then you'll have to sit there and go through all the reasons proving why it will, kind of thing. Yeah. And he'll go through each one. Yeah. Right.
By all means, guys, like if you want to actually role play this out and like actually try to use some of the techno babble.
Okay.
Now I need a little bit of
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, like it's like instead of playing like this is what my character will do, actually do it. Actually say it.
Well, I think there's a part of me where I realize that there's 2 weeks going on, and so we're not only just that, but we're setting up like what probably most of the time has been.
Okay.
But yes, I absolutely, like I said, I just need some techno babble. So as we get to talking and start falling into role play, that I'll actually have like things to say as a Tellarite. Because right now it's like I got the idea in my head, but following Tellarite psyche kind of thing, yeah. But, so since there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, we've kind of started the idea of what us two are doing. So we'll pause for a moment for the other 4 while we look up some techno babble.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ooh, techno babble generator. Huh, nothing better.
So anybody else want to set up scenes while they're looking up their stuff?
My new character's name is Regov. His family obviously was Russian, but he grew up in an isolated colony. So he somehow managed to come out speaking normal English, since I can't do Russian.
Just gotta save the enemy vessel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Alameda.
I'm still kind of picking his focuses, and I haven't touched his values yet. So for right now, he'll just be studying Starfleet weaponry or something like that in his quarters.
Okay.
You might get a call regarding something about how feasible is a little fighter like this and micro torpedoes. Yay, nay.
That's why I kind of said about doing nothing.
Now, the funny thing is, we might not have invited you. It's just a question, like a text. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I said hello.
Oh, there you are.
Anybody else want to set up any scenes with anybody? Do anything? Even random stuff around the station?
So am I on the ship already, or am I transferred?
So you have probably received your crew transfer orders, or your transfer orders probably maybe a week ago. So you've been on the station waiting to take your post.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're really
Um,
bored.
Right.
Oh yeah, I am so bored. In which case, if I know that they're here, I'm going to wander over there and see if I can report to science bored at them.
Can do what?
I'm going to see if I can report to the person I'm supposed to report to if the ship's.
Oh,
yeah,
that,
we can do
that-
something like that.
that would probably
That's
be
awesome.
the commander. I think the commander would be the first person you would report to.
Right? Warn you about all the stuff you should and should not say to the captain. Yes.
Yeah, I would be disappointed. I would be disappointed if you went to me before you went to the commander. Or
Oh,
not me. The character would be.
Okay, then I will report to the commander.
Who's at the holodeck?
Who's at the holodeck? Okay. Can I like just like get on the holodeck, or is there anything I need to do?
Oh no, just set it up. If the commander's on the holodeck, you walk in the holodeck and you see whatever the commander's running. Which the commander, if he wants, can explain what's going on.
The worst would be you
Okay.
hit a button that says private, you know. Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to walk onto the holodeck and say, Commander Prax, this is Operations Officer Lieutenant Addison Maddox reporting for duty.
Okay, so the scene is when you walk into the holodeck, it's actually sort of like a spa retreat on Ryza. Like a recreation of that.
Sir? Am I interrupting something?
So just to keep in mind, my character is actually female. Just
Oh, sorry.
in perspective.
I did not know. Okay, so, ma'am.
Yeah.
However,
Well,
it is
no.
However, it is customary to call everybody sir or by their rank, unless corrected.
It's a tidbit from
Okay.
Voyager.
Right.
Commander, am I interrupting something?
Not at all. And she's kind of just getting like a massage, essentially, to relieve stress and calm.
That's awesome. You see your face below the thing. What? Huh? Laying on the table. Yeah, that's.
Can I help you, Lieutenant?
Just wondering if there's anything needing to be done. I've been stationed on here for a bit, haven't been use and trying to be of use.
Currently, it's pretty much shore leave at the moment until the engine is up and running again.
I'll see if I can find some of your other crew to keep myself busy then. Enjoy your massage. I'm going to
Thank you, Lieutenant.
back out.
When you
I'm gonna
leave
back out.
when you leave that holodeck door, the holodeck next to you, a Tellarite walks out yelling and screaming inside, "That's never gonna work!" as the door shut. Ah!
What?
Michelson is pissing me off. And then I look over at your holodeck and I'm like, the commander would be irritated if I just switch holodeck parts. But then I changed my mind. And I see you standing there. I'm like, hello.
Hello, Lieutenant Maddox. Pleased to meet you.
Commander Kerr of, or sorry, let me reword that. Lieutenant Commander Kerr, and I'm the engineer of the Imjin. Nice to meet you. You been stationed on Narendra long?
So I've been here for about a week. There is nothing to do but look
Yeah,
out
it's a
the
small
window.
station.
It is very small, and I got to tell you. So last ship I was on, my officer had this parrot, and she never let the parrot out of the cage, and it went insane and just flipping around and around and around. And I am like 2 steps away from being that parrot. So if you have any projects whatsoever, I need to do something. I'm
Well,
going
actually,
here.
right here in this holodeck, our comms, or sorry, not comms, con officer Michelson is working on a prototype. Sorry, what is it? What are we calling it? Mini, like not Delta Flyer, because that's but a smaller version like that, like a fighter. Are you just?
It's
like,
a P-14
P-14, as in P-14
patrol
from,
craft.
Ah, okay, never mind, gotcha. And so I mentioned that he's working on a patrol craft, a new design inside this holodeck over here. As he says, and I apologize, my my outburst. We got into a small debate, and at this point in time, I don't feel like he's given me enough proof for those flaps in the back and the cooling system. Just not. I don't know. No, maybe you could shed some light and help. I don't know. He's just like, and he points to the holodeck.
Yeah, let me take a
I'm
look
going
at
to the bar. Yeah, because I'm like I'm going to head to the bar and be a drunk Tellarite.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Have a
a couple
good
of
drink.
drinks might make it a little easier to understand what my cousin is saying, being an engineer. And then I give a funny face and I'm like, enjoy. And I'm like, he's just right inside. And I tap the door open before I walk off.
All right, I'm gonna head in there then, to where my. Hey,
And as you walk in, you see a relatively tall human male, about 6'2", wearing command red with an ensign pin.
are you Ensign Michelson?
I am, and you,
So, Kirby, I am a
Lieutenant.
Maddox. I'm your new ops officer.
Oh, okay, Lieutenant Maddox. Well, apparently, we're gonna be working together a lot together on the bridge.
Seems that way. Is this your fighter?
Patrol craft, yes.
It's a patrol craft.
No, and that's probably true. I called it a fighter so that when you walk in, he can correct you. Yeah, that's perfect.
Fuck you.
Well, I mean, I didn't do it on purpose, kind of thing, but it does make for.
Yeah, it does. And oh boy, he literally shows you everything about it, and the only you look at it, and you see everything that I've told.
Kirk. Or Jamie.
Here, let me just
All right.
post it in here so everybody can see it.
Yeah, that's probably better.
All right. So, what's the main issue you're having with it?
Well, right now it seems like the neutrino flow from the impulse drive isn't working right. It seems to be not reaching its maximum potential. Right now, I seem to be getting only 3/4 impulse out of it.
No, you're right. That's absolute shit. You can do better.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe.
Maisie. Could it be something wrong with the deuterium?
It's possible. Have you tried rerouting the deuterium to the boost drive?
Wait, you mean running deuterium and igniting it straight from the boost drive, not running it through an actual impulse manifold?
Because if you can reroute it to the primary system, then in theory you can this technobabble. Then you can the controller at an increased rate. It's riskier. There's always the chance that it could explode, but where's the fun without that?
Yeah, but then you get the phased plasma distortion.
Well,
and
yeah, but
anyway, I've got another issue I need to work on. Give me a second. Starrell, what's the name of your new character again?
It is Regov. Reggov.
Okay. And so he's going to hit his combat engine and go, Lieutenant Commander Regov, could you come to holodeck 3, please? I've got some questions for you.
Very well, I'll be down there in 20 minutes.
Will do.
All right, Captain, is there anything you would like to do?
I'm going to walk past. I'm going to be walking along the promenade or whatever they have and see Kerr drinking in the bar, and I'm going to walk up to him. So, what are you drinking, Commander? Did we lose him?
Is the lieutenant commander here?
Okay, I'm back.
I have stopped by the bar and asked you what you were drinking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I'll be drinking some synthahol thing and complaining that like they try to get the taste right, but considering you don't ever feel anything and this and that and the other thing, I'll be mumbling something about it, and then tell you that it's like probably like a fake Long Island iced tea derivative.
Well, Commander, if you would like to join me in my suite, I have a bottle of. Oh, 1 second. My food's
Oh.
at the door. I'll be right back.
All the Tellarite stuff perks up. But of course, when you get once the captain gets back, I'm going to find out whether or not I'm alone. Am I the only one being invited? Because that could be creepy. I could be getting cussed out. I mean, a lot of things when you get invited alone.
Not necessarily. It might
just
not be
kidding.
alone. Oh,
Right.
it depends on what you say.
No, I was just like, sure, anything beats this synthahol served on these stations. You know, and stepping out. I think Tellarites always liking debate and this and that stuff are probably ones that don't like to get drunk a lot to mess with their head per se. So you'll probably know him as not one that likes to get drunk, no, but having a drink every once in a while to just set the nerves back to like a calming is sometimes nice kind of idea. Yeah, but he doesn't like to get drunk. He likes to be able to debate.
I'll then tap my comm badge. Commander Prax,
Yes, sir.
would you like to join me and our chief engineer for a drink?
Certainly, sir. My holodeck time is almost up.
Ding.
I will. Where am I meeting you at?
What's the program you're running?
It's a private program that was given to me, but it's set on Ryza.
Sounds fantastic. We'll join you.
As you wish.
Do we see you changing the whole set of what's in the hologram to something else?
No.
I'm gonna bring from my quarters a bottle of proper Irish whiskey, which is real alcohol. Because I'm a captain, I can do that. And then I guess me and Kerr will be entering the holosuite.
Yeah, because I
really
imagine probably the bar, the drink, and all that stations would be near the holosuites. It sounds kind of
Yeah.
So it'll be like after you, Captain.
I like what you've done with the place, Commander.
Ryza.
Definitely at this point, she would have a robe on. Thank you, Captain. It was a gift from a old friend.
Never been on Ryza before. What's wrong with the air?
That's the smell of paradise.
Oh, fresh. I've never smelled fresh air before. Gotcha. And then I'll be like, no, seriously, Captain, thank you for inviting us to a good drink, especially when good real alcohol is not available on most stations, well, at least not to most of us. So it's appreciated. But then I'll turn and I'll ask, on a side note, any word yet on plans for the Imjin? Where are we off next?
In good time, Commander. In good time. And then I'm gonna hand him a glass with whiskey in it.
Absolutely.
These are not the times to worry about such affairs, Commander.
Understood. But sometimes what are three officers bound to talk about? It's just seemed obvious. Or sorry, seemed sorry, not obvious. Not ritual either. What's the word? Common kind of thing. Yeah. But he'll then pause and take a sip. You guys are quiet.
Don't rush me, I'm thinking.
Right.
Are you always this jittered, Commander Kerr?
Am I what?
Always this anxious?
I wouldn't call it anxious. I think it's the Tellarites are always thinking about stuff, crunching, thinking, kind of thing. And so just knowledge is awesome. And that I would say it's more on that page. But no, thank you for asking. No, just interested, seeing where we're going or what we're up to. I mean, wouldn't really kind of matter anyway, being in the engine room. Don't see much other than the warp beautifulness herself, and then I'll make the sign of like the warp.
It always pays to take a time to relax every now and then.
Yes, understood.
And then I'm just gonna kind of make a wide gesturing motion. I'm gonna say, with all of this scenery, and I'm not really pointing towards scenery. It's just like a bunch of Ryzens. With all this scenery, who cares about warp cores?
Absolutely. There might be a moment where he's looking for another Tellarite somewhere in the program to see. There might not be one. So
My character is definitely looking for anything other than a Tellarite.
right. Well, he's looking for a female Tellarite, but Tellarite nonetheless. He kind of looks around and is sad when he doesn't see one like directly. But yes, nice program.
Well, the real thing's much better.
Oh, absolutely. Where are you guys from, other than Starfleet?
I'm from a small duchy on Beta Z. It's where my last name comes from.
Absolutely. You, Commander?
I come from one of the major cities on Trill. At least this host does.
I've never been able to stand large cities.
Me either. I came from isolated colony, and I'll probably mention like colony 772 or something out in the Alpha Quadrant. Kind of like one that's out far from everyone, but maybe close to Tellarite or the area.
Yeah. My family has large country estates, and I could never get used to the hustle and bustle of a city.
for us is with the isolated colony, you pretty much knew everybody, and so yeah, getting in a city, the faces you know suddenly turns into faces you don't. It can be quite annoying or uncomfortable. Yeah, because usually on the colony, you know everyone, you can trust everyone who's at, no find them. City's too much hustle and bustle. That's why I like a starship, though. Once you get on the ship, it's just that's it. The crew.
Both my parents were artists, and we took many trips to the countryside when I was a child, but I understand your dilemma. There's a certain peace element to living in rural areas.
Do your parents still make art?
Yes, they do. However, we don't really speak as much. They weren't fond of me becoming applying to the Trill Initiative. Or can't talk now. The Symbiote Commission.
That's too bad. I've meant to commission another work recently. I've been looking for a good artist.
I heard it was really. I heard it's very hard to be a joined trill with the symbiote. How was that process like?
It's more of a blending of two minds. I carry all of the memories of Prax, which has all the memories of the former host that it, occupied.
I'm sorry, earlier you said was your parents for or against the joining? That's the part I missed.
They were against it.
Against it? Oh. Well, I hear it's a very, very, very dredging process.
It is. Only a small number are handpicked to be joined with the symbiote. Among most of my people, it's an honor to be joined.
True. So why was your parents against it? If it's an honor.
They didn't want me to be bound by a joining process. They wanted me to be more fruitful with my life. But I take it this is more of a fruitful endeavor by being joined.
Well, I can understand that. My parents are business traders, and everybody in the family had to be a business trader or looked on or looked down on, I guess. But I wasn't about to be stuck in that. We dealt in medical supplies, sonic and different little different technology that goes inside each of the tricorders, depending on this and that. But that was not my thing, so I was glad to get out of that colony as soon as possible.
I find myself in an opposite situation. I would have been more than happy to lead the life of a nobleman on Beta Z, but it was as the younger sibling I didn't have that chance. I didn't get to inherit, which meant Starfleet was my only real choice.
Mm. I understand.
It's most unfortunate, Captain.
It's led to a good career. I have no regrets.
Score quick out of character. for the talents on the new ship, or there's supposed to be 5?
There are 5.
I only see 4 for some reason.
Hit the gear symbol.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Throughout all this, I've been liberally giving alcohol to both of you and me.
Excellent. We start a small party in Ryza.
Simulated Ryza, unfortunately.
As a gesture of goodwill, I say, computer, add a few Tellarites in.
And they appear without fail.
See? Then I'm like, oh, there you go.
Then I kind of like start to pat her on the back and kind of like a go get 'em kind of attitude.
I'm like, the holodeck. There'll be time for that. Right now, it's how often you sit and have a drink with the captain and his commander. I don't think my Tellarite is Tom Paris and Harry Kim-ish. More reserved.
I think that would be a good time to probably jump to the other holodeck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll take it as Lieutenant Commander Regov.
Yep.
Enters the holodeck
He entered.
and sees a workup of the fighter that's in your chat.
I haven't seen something like this in God knows how long. What are you doing down here, Ensign?
It's a patrol craft. It's basically based off of the late 20th century U.S. fighter, the F-14. It's basically based off of that. I've tried to make it more aerodynamic for space travel and all that other good stuff, and upgraded the weapons systems. I'm not sure if you know this, but the F-14 was equipped with projectile weaponry as well as missiles. And with technology being how it is nowadays, those are kind of outdated.
Yes, I'm familiar with military history as one of my minors at the Starfleet Academy. What improvements have you made on the design?
I've knocked out the wings, basically making them more circular. The whole tail section has been completely wiped clean of wings. There's no support structures, nothing. It's just basically engines back there. That's it. The only thing that I haven't really been able to change is the cockpit design. It's literally only made for 2 people, which would be someone to fly it, someone to fire the weapons.
Do you need anyone else?
So speaking of weapons, what kind of weapons are we talking about here?
Forward mounted phaser cannons. They're both, and he points to the junction between the fuselage and the wing at the very front, and he says, they're both mounted here, but they're only forward facing. I figure we'll probably run those with independent phaser power systems, so they're not pulling from the patrol craft's power itself. They're independently powered.
Okay, but what are you doing about the dampening controller?
Basically, I've reduced it in scale, or at least tried to, a little bit. but there's not much else I can do about the dampening controller. I mean, other than maybe running a inverter on pulse generator.
That's possible. That might work with the interface relay system.
Okay, and then he walks around to the front where the nose cone is and says, and then I've got a location here for micro torpedoes. I figured to go with micro torpedoes based upon the fact that if I went with a standard photon torpedo, I probably would only be able to carry a complement of 4, maybe be able to squeeze in a 5th.
How long have you been working on this project, Ensign?
I'd say a couple weeks now. I haven't been working on it dedicatedly. I've taken some time off while we've been on the station, but I just got back into it and addressing issues.
So, have you taken it for any flights in the simulator?
I have not as of yet. I need to do that and see how everything reacts.
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's hop in.
You want to take care of weapons?
We can test them. If it blows, it blows.
As long as the safety protocols are on, we'll be fine.
Your ship.
All right.
I'm flying in the back.
All right. And I'm guessing that at this point he's been working with a small scale. And he goes, computer, render full scale and full build.
And the scene changes with your fighter in space moving at warp 2.
Warp 2, okay.
We'll call it warp 2.
Okay.
Are they just standing outside of this ship in space?
No, they're inside.
Oh.
They
No,
were
we're in the cockpit.
I mean,
yeah, they were
I'm
they were moved.
outside. I'm just standing there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's only room for 2 people. So
Yeah,
you're
so
watching
I'm like-
us.
I'm outside with a clipboard, just in
Oh.
taking.
You're in what's called observer mode.
Mm-hmm.
I think a star just went through his head.
Oh,
Okay.
another bullet.
Oh boy, I need to pull up the stats that I made for this thing. And I've only got it on my computer, so everything. All right, so hey Ed, why don't you lay out a simulation for us?
oh, I got one in mind.
All right.
Make sure there's a few targets so we get practice.
Oh, there's targets. All right, so as Lieutenant Commander Regov is looking at his tactical panel, he notices 3 fighter aircraft or 3 fighters at bearing 25 Mark 138.
I'm guessing he tells Ensign Michelson about them.
Yes.
Then in that case, I will set an intercept course and engage at, I'm going to try and push the engines and try and do warp 3.
So, how did you design it? Like, as far as like the person in front and the back seats, like
Basically, it's cylindrical. So basically, you're sitting above me. I'm a little bit lower than you. And so you can see right out above me. So if your tactical console goes out, but you still have manual control, you can line up a shot by using basically my head and the nose of the fighter as iron sights.
Okay, and do we each control like our own weapon systems, or how to like?
I control flight, you control weapons.
I'm going to move the fighters where they need to go.
Maverick
Okay.
and Goose.
Yep, Maverick and Goose.
So when the if for any reason something goes wrong and the holodeck stops, I have something to add in.
All right, Anson, get me within weapons range.
Okay, give me a second. My roll 20 is being stupid. Okay, so I'm going to do, I guess, let me pull up this over here, con positions and tasks. I'm going to do, is this where we basically come out of warp? Is it extreme range?
Well, you're at warp and they're at extreme range.
Okay, so we're closing the distance.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to drop out of warp. Basically, I'm guessing I'll use 1 power to do this and be in medium range.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the test to probably maneuver. Either maneuver or impulse, probably.
It probably would be impulse.
Yep.
That will be, I think it's control con, difficulty 1, I think, or 2, something like that.
So just to go to impulse, there's no difficulty unless I give it
Okay.
difficulty.
Okay, so here's this, and then because I only have the stats on my sheet, I'm gonna roll 1d20 for the fighter, which is an 8, and its structure con, that is a success.
Okay. 3 momentum, and then you close to medium range, you say?
Yes, I said medium range.
Okay. You know what I definitely hate? I hate when Discord chat pops up and it doesn't let me adjust my screen. Annoying. I should
Yes.
maybe turn off pop-up notifications on that. Yeah, so do you pass turn to them or do you keep the momentum?
I'm gonna go on ahead and spend 2 of the momentum to go on ahead and let the lieutenant commander have a go.
All right, as soon as we drop out of warp and he maneuvers in, you hear a bunch of beeps and he's furiously tapping a console, targeting something, and he fires the ship phasers.
Okay.
Which target?
Closest one next to the ship. That one's on the bottom left there.
Okay.
So that's what? Control security?
Come on, you guys. I need something to fail on your holodeck. I have something in my hand right here, and I just need.
Okay, that is another success from the fighter, or from the patrol craft.
Okay, so you gain a momentum. So I got you at 2.
Okay, and then real quick, security is 2. I need phaser cannon damage.
I believe that's a +2 if I'm not mistaken. Oh, phaser cannon, then that's difficulty 3 because cannons are close range.
Yeah.
So I'll take away one of the momentums you gained.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that. I believe that's a +2 if I'm not mistaken, but let me double check.
Do we have a little character sheet for that, for the shuttle, and not the shuttle, the fighter?
You're
Not
basically
yet.
Not yet. I'm using a notepad on my computer that has all the stats on it.
Gotcha.
I built it on my computer.
So we now know what your job is.
And your scale's 2, right?
Yes, scale 2.
All right, so it'll be 6 challenge dice then.
66.
Because you said your security was 2? And
Yes.
Scale.
That is
1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4.
1,
That's
2,
5 damage.
3, 4, 5. Yep, 5.
Yeah, that's 5 damage, 2 effects.
Great.
1, 2, 3,
which
4.
I
Where do you
don't
get?
think
Where do
I
you get?
will cheer you on.
Just wondering, since 3 and 4 blank.
I'm
6s are rolled as 1s with effects.
Yes, so 2 6s
and
is
2s.
1, and
I'm
1 2,
And
that's
then
4.
1 and 2 is themselves. So that's 3
Oh, the
plus
2
2,
is
which is
2.
5.
Never mind, I'm dumb.
like the weirdest.
I'm sorry. In my head, for some reason, went to every side of the die is just 1 point. I digress.
And then just to double check, I add in the security skill to the weapon damage, correct? That's still a thing?
That just affects the challenge die.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that just affects the challenge die.
So it is 6.
Yes. No,
Okay.
it's 5 damage. It's 5
No,
damage.
no, I meant 5 dice.
Oh.
You roll 6 dice, and then it's 5 damage.
6 dice. Yeah,
Cool.
5 damage.
So, with Ensign Michelson's brilliant maneuvering, and Lieutenant Commander Regov is able to expertly shoot the fighter at a longer range than the cannons are normally able to shoot, but he is able to get extreme accuracy on the target, and it dies, blows up into a wreck.
They are phasers, right?
Yes, they are phaser cannons.
Phaser cannons.
Okay, they also
Now
get they're versatile too. So don't forget that. Because
Now
all
the enemies-
phaser weapons are that way.
The enemy is blown up in effect, or the phase cannons blow up.
No, the enemy.
The enemy blew up.
So it'll be their turn. They're going to kind of pivot like this,
Okay.
and they're going to fire at you.
Okay.
If I could, where the hell's my sheet? God damn it!
Keep in mind, this is a small scale. Difficulty is 3, or a small craft. I believe difficulty is 3, just to hit.
It's still the same because it's all small scale stuff.
Okay, it's all small
still,
scale.
it's still the difficulty is determined by your range,
Okay.
and then it's the scale. But oh shit, I don't even have weapons on these. What the hell is going on?
Sounds good.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna have to switch to the Zarkonian fighters then.
Oh boy.
Because they
And
do
use-
have weapons.
And use their weapons as a baseline, huh? Ooh.
Go away. That would be a hit.
That's a hit, yeah.
Holodeck programming, don't fail me.
However, I believe that it's just a 1 point of damage.
I'm scale 2, resistance 2, so that is no damage.
It would also help if I maybe had the right scale in here. Oh no, that doesn't affect anything else. Cool.
Mm.
I forgot I had them set up for the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Yeah, so-
their other ship will get to go too.
Yep. So they're gonna follow suit.
That's
bank-
definitely a hit.
I will bank a threat.
Oh,
3, 4.
yeah, that's okay. 2
So that's
damage.
2. What are your shields?
Shields is 5.
Just take I'm gonna spend 2 threat. Give yourself 2 more damage.
Okay, so I take 4 total damage. Shields drop to 1.
Scale 2, so that's a breach.
That
It's
oh, yeah.
It goes by
It's 4
3,
damage.
but yeah, but it's 3 because
Ooh, does the holodeck come to an end with everybody sitting on the floor? Well, except for the one with the board.
because technically, like if you're at scale 2 and 1, it's actually a +1 to hit, so it should technically take 3 to actually hit. Both fighters, like his and the enemy, if they're both technically that's what it's set at. But if for the damage wise, if it's 4, you go by the scale.
I believe it still has to get the 5 hits on the shields, and it still didn't bring down the shields, so it was 4
Yeah,
damage.
my shields are at 1.
Okay.
because I don't think scale has scale only determines what happens with the breaches, not what constitutes a breach.
Mm-hmm.
I'll double check though, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I'm looking it up.
So here, so if a ship suffers 5 or more damage from a single attack or hazard,
Okay. Yeah,
after
you're right.
reduction for resistance, the system suffers a breach. If the ship is reduced to 0 shields by that attack or hazard, it suffers a breach. And if the ship had 0 shields before the attack or hazard inflicts 1 or more damage, the ship suffers a breach.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
so no breach.
So it's no breach, but it's 4 damage to the shields.
Okay.
So then it'll pass back to you guys.
Okay,
Ensign,
I'm going.
Ensign, I suggest that you evade these fools before they destroy us.
Yes, I do agree. How much momentum do we have? Do we have?
I got you
One?
at 1.
Okay, so I need to do. Power is 4. I need to do an evasive action. Daring con.
Difficulty 2? I'm just guessing. You guys probably know better than I do.
I've
Evasive action is difficulty 1.
difficulty 1.
Assisted by the ship's structure con.
Yeah.
Which the
So
program is still flawed.
That's my roll. Roll 1d20. That's the shit. Oh, that's going to be an actual 2 success.
Yep, that will be a crit. So you bank 2 momentum, so you're up to 3.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm going to spend 2 of that momentum, and this is to activate my talent Precise Evasion, which still gives us our increase to hit, for them to hit us, but it negates our advance on our side.
Okay. Cool. So then it will pass to them.
Oh, I want to interrupt so bad. Because I have an idea, but it's just based on what we were talking about before.
Message me the idea, and then I'll see if I can fit. Why did my... God damn it. All right, so one of the lead ship here, if I could get to it. So this one will be the lead ship.
Okay.
Is gonna fire again at you.
That's a hit.
Well, you're a small craft, and you got your evasive action, so it's difficulty 4.
Oh, wait.
But
Hold
it's
on.
a hit.
No, it's also difficulty 5 because I have Oh, no, wait.
No, it should be.
Never mind. I would have to spend 2 more momentum to do that. I don't have that momentum. Never mind. Whoa!
That would be 7.
That is definitely shields gone. With 5, that's 0 on my shields. And that's a 20.
So they did 2 breaches to your weapons, which I believe
Scale 2.
Scale 2.
disables them.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point,
At that point, your weapons are offline.
yeah, no,
Doing great, guys.
Regov says computer and simulation.
And the entire program turns off, and you go to the telltale signs of the black and orange grid-shaped pattern on the walls. And the ops officer is also standing in the room, kind of laughing at you, I would imagine.
Well, no, you get one more. You get a beep over the comms from Commander Kerr, and I got the commander and the captain sitting next to me as I call you guys while we're a little bit drunk, and I'm laughing at you. It failed, didn't it? Didn't it? Told you. The sonic infusers are going to cause the whole phase control system to go offline. You're going to be without no power, and there's no way to reroute it through the plasma injectors. Told you. And then I ate calm.
Wow, your lieutenant commander is petty. How long has he been waiting to be that?
For a couple of drunk hours, probably.
Oh, and I should say that it was also high yield and devastating, so that was actually 3 breaches.
Oh no!
Oh, so yeah.
It totally knocked.
destroyed.
Yeah, it destroyed him.
But at the same time, you get an answer of what that debate was when you walked up on the holodeck, and I yelled, and I was running out. That's yeah, right. Now you get the reason why he's like, "I told you, told you."
Maybe if you just realign the automatic plasma flow inhibitor to help with supply.
The autoplasma flow inhibitor?
I could take a look at it if you want, or we could go get a drink.
Right. And I look at the commander
well-
and the captain and shrug. What?
I'm gonna look at Lieutenant Commander Regoff and Lieutenant Maddox and go, you know what? I need a break. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, keep working on it. The weapons seem to be performing optimally. I think the simulation was a little bit too much.
One-sided.
Yeah,
Right.
we did all right. It was a good.
It was
first test.
ambitious for a patrol ship.
And Maddox doesn't know that, like, when you walked up, we had already been in there for like 4 or 5 hours working on shit. So it's not as if like I went in there and said, "Oh, I'm gonna fail," and worked out. It's something we're like that whole fun petty thing was because we had already worked on it for like 6 or 7 hours before you
yeah.
got there. Yeah, exactly. And it's just Mr. Meadows hasn't told you any of that.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope, not at all.
but
All
yeah,
clues
Regov,
about anything.
Exactly.
when you were saying that, Regov kind of looked over at you confused, like, "What's this guy talking about?"
No, just don't worry about it. Me and the Lieutenant Commander Kerr got into it a little bit over some design speculations. We'll work that out.
Well, that's better than I thought he would say. Like, damn engineers.
Hey,
That's what I thought.
out of character, my con is a 5, my engineering is a 3.
See, that works.
Very well. I'm going to go eat some chow. Continue the work, and Lieutenant Commander Regov walks out of the frickin' whatever the hell it's called.
The holodeck.
Yeah. And in real life, I'm going to go grab dinner real quick. Be right back.
Cool.
Imagine just
just
time we've talked for a couple hours. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just a quick out of character question for the GM. The holodeck would have recorded that entire simulation, right?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
So you have data to improve your ship systems, if that's what you're.
Yeah.
What I can't find is that scale thing you were talking about. I don't think the scale increases difficulty. for a
For
thing.
It's in their small.
when it's got it's a small craft trait. It should be under traits.
Right. Is it in the traits, or is it in the small craft operations?
I think it's small craft operations.
Okay. No, it's only actually for firefighters. I got that wrong, but for firefighter engagement, it would be the +2, but it's only with full size ships. My bad. That's on page 233.
Okay, so for a full size ship to engage a fighter, it's +1 difficulty.
Yes, because it's a small,
Okay.
small nature.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's my fault. I got that mixed up. I forgot about that little tidbit.
Didn't matter. They still hit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's good to have these if you're going to try to bring this out. You know, it's good to flesh these out because I mean it's a small little paragraph on a page that a lot of us probably skimmed over.
Yeah, and I'm using it.
I haven't got there yet. I'm at 215. 15 pages away.
I mean, that's
Almost there.
that's probably my biggest issue with the book is everything is so like
Neat.
fragmented and like in different parts. To get the full scale of like space combat, you have to look at like 10 different pages, like 100 pages apart. It's like weird.
I'm kind of noticing that. Yeah.
That's my only. I think that's probably my biggest gripe with how the book's laid out. But other than that, I love how the book's laid out. It's just
Well, I have a
just
question.
I need all this stuff for combat, and it's like not on the same page.
Yeah, and so I have a question. Have you looked at what the GM screen looks like to see if it's all?
I am probably just going to post papers on my wall because like I have a wall like right in front of me. So like it'll be nothing to like me to tape something to the wall and be like, here's my combat list. Here's this
here's
list.
Yeah, exactly.
But and as we go forward with once we start figuring out exactly what mission parameters you guys are wanting to do, I could start customizing that stuff. But like really I need to put like the breaches and like the damage and the fixes for the breaches. Like that would be nice to have up there.
Yeah, and you're right. As we all get more used to the game and used to the book, we'll start knowing where to find stuff. But yeah, you're right. It takes a while.
Right.
So for a GM, I could only imagine.
Because like I'll admit, I don't have everything memorized, and half the time I'm flying at the seat of my pants anyway.
Yeah, I can only imagine because I want to
Yeah.
GM it because I'm usually a GM of stuff, not a player usually. And so yeah, as I'm reading this, I'm like, wow, I'm like really like. So I'm just like giving you props right now, like yeah, because this stuff is spread out.
Yeah, I mean it is, and I have a magic card tokens in the pages. Like, okay, this one's for this one. This is open to this page.
Specific magic cards for specific situations.
Yeah, well, because like the breach table is on one page, and then the weapon infect damage is on another page, and it's I kind of need them both for like a single attack. I need them both.
Right. I was just making funny, like a specific magic card for a specific table, like magic vines. I don't. Okay.
Pretty much it. So yeah, is there anything else anybody wanted to do?
Not really. I mean, like I imagine it's kind of cool that the three of them are getting to know each other, in the riser room. The other three got to know each other in the other one, But like you said, there's like 2 weeks of stuff going on. So I imagine just other than like stating all the different minor rituals of not being bored.
Well, like my idea was like this would be one day
of it
after 2 weeks of what the hell do we do on the station?
Okay, then I imagine then me and Michelson have been in that room with that fighter ship many a day.
Right.
And so that petty moment you saw was like after a week.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's nothing else anybody wants to explore, then I think this might be a good place to call it for today. Because this is really what I wanted to get you guys doing was like the role playing with each other, getting to know your characters, getting to know each other, and I think you guys knocked that out of the park.
Cool.
And I think most of all, I think you guys had some fun, and I think was the important thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, at least I got to finally test out the P-14.
Yeah, I was gonna match you against the mercenary fighters from earlier, but I looked down at the sheet and for whatever reason they do not have their weapons in it anymore, which is weird as shit. So I'm like, well, I don't have another fighter, so I guess you have to fight the crystal fighters, which are
yes, the mercenary fighters were less difficult to fight.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yes.
See, and that's what I was going to text Edward. I was going to be like, well, when you did that last like try to get away maneuver, is when the technobabble that I had available kind of matched that. So I was like, oh, this is when the holograph should fail because of that maneuver, and that's what I'd be calling you like, aha, told you. As you guys were sitting on the floor with the guy at the clipboard standing there, But I couldn't type fast enough. So yeah.
So you could say it did fail and that it didn't prevent them from getting out of the way fast enough.
Yes, exactly. So that we have more to work on. Yeah, exactly. Now the petty part might be where. Oh, good. Sorry.
And
No,
don't
cut
forget,
out.
you guys have your annual physicals coming up too.
Oh shit.
Oh. Oh, snap.
Now the petty part.
The medical officer is kind of slapping you off.
The petty part would probably be like, now that you guys are about to get the recording of all this material, I programmed to have the machine throw up all the 50 red flags in a certain way so that you see exactly what's wrong with the ship as it. And each flag, like as you sign in, you'd be like, first is this. Next would be, it's just like that's where the petty will come in on how annoying like everything I pointed out to you.
You know what? Hey, Ed,
Yep.
can I go on ahead and make a engineering roll to try and fix all of these problems over the time that we're in space dock?
I want to watch this.
Well, seeing as though it's an actual hologram, I don't think that would be necessary.
Well, I mean, because you have to figure it out and everything. I was thinking like reason engineering, but okay.
Like
Well,
to try
we
to
do a
like to try to fix the problem.
Mhm.
I think that should be a role playing thing in the future.
Yeah, like a work,
Okay.
a gated work task. thing.
Right.
Where we
Right.
do a whole bunch of separate stuff to get it all together, and maybe we don't even get it. And I kind of wanted, but this is just me. There's a part of me that says whatever the task should be like really hard. So like the first couple times we fail, and we might even be on the Imjin still trying to work on it.
And I should probably remind you, you guys also have to probably not only get captain and commander's approval, this probably needs a command level approval as well.
Yeah, the thing
And then
is,
the
I want it to
security's got to
perform
go through all
well.
the safeties.
The thing is, I want it to perform well in a simulation, so I can present it as a finished product.
Right.
before-
Yeah,
properly.
yeah, because I kind of got the idea for the arc, a little bit of the arc. So like, yeah, definitely like some things you definitely have to do in the future is you're definitely gonna have to role play probably with an admiral,
Oh,
with
boy.
approval, with all the data of why this is going to be a better fighter than the ones they have.
Mhm.
Oh my god, the captain's like, "Don't talk to me. The admiral's over. He's got her on there. Why are you talking to me?
No,
We're not even on the engine yet." No, I'm just kidding.
I've told him that he has to work hard to sell it to me because I have to work hard to sell it to other people.
Correct. No, that's exactly how that's going to play out. You have to sell it to the captain and commander, who then has to sell it to the admiral, who then has to have a sit down with the ensign, who then has to run it up the flagpole of why this is a better fighter, who then has to get the permissions and approvals to start construction a prototype.
And they're going to look at Michelson's profile and see that he was late every once in a while to getting to his command chair in the bridge. So I don't know how far this is going to go.
So that's the arc with your fighter. I have ideas for. So it's going to be you're still looking at a bit until this actually becomes a reality.
Oh yeah, I expected as much. That's why I was still playing it as a simulation, not trying to advance it further.
I have a question for Mr. Michelson. The
Yes.
reason, hypothetically, is there a race or reason behind this ship that we have all forward to look, or that we all have to look forward to as the reason to build this, or is it still kind of just a fun hobby in the air right now? Just wondering.
One of the reasons is it ties in real well with one of the captain's personality traits, I guess you would call it.
Hmm.
And then as well, it gives us a small patrol craft that only takes 2 people to go out. So if something happens,
Well, see, in the Delta
And-
Quadrant, there's this race. We just got to get to the Dyson Sphere to travel to Delta Quadrant.
yeah,
Meet up with that
the
race.
Iconians, I think.
Yeah. Okay, way out of our sphere. Fun. Okay.
Yeah. Do we know which direction in the universe will be traveling, or that's still
That's true.
needs to get written and stuff?
So I'm gonna give you guys an actual arc now, since I think you guys are probably